It's been a long time since I recorded one of these videos, but yeah. So today, unfortunately, I cannot show my face, but we do have a special product here to review today, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S26. So this is the base model Galaxy S26 in the three phone lineup that Samsung has launched this year. And I would say this is a pretty underrated phone considering everybody usually goes with the Ultra. But let's just talk about the simple specifications of this beautiful phone, the Samsung Galaxy S26. And this is finished in the graphite color. It's actually called black, I think. And this has the Samsung Exynos 2600 with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, or you can also opt for a 512 gigabyte storage, and both of the storage models are equipped with UFS 4.1 4.0. I'm so sorry, I'm stuttering. So the screen on this is a 6.3 inch, so it's actually bigger than the phone that I'm using to record this video, a iPhone 15. And this is a 6.3 inches display with dynamic LTPO AMOLED. So the resolution of the display is 1080 by 2340 pixels, and the brightness is pretty bright considering this is a flagship phone. This has a peak brightness of 2600 nits, and it is a pretty thin and light phone. So the total weight of this phone is 167 grams, and it is a pretty hefty, thick phone. So it's 7.2 millimeters thin, and I think this is actually thin. This is actually a little bit, a little bit thicker than last year's model, the S25. I would say that this is not much of an upgrade, but the design has changed a little. They added this little camera bump setup, and they removed those camera protector thingies around the camera lenses. And I also have this case right here for the S26. So this has a let's move on to the cameras in this S26. So the cameras are, the main camera is 50 megapixels. There's also an ultra wide, which is 12 megapixels, and there's also a telephoto, which is 10 megapixels. And then the front camera is 12 megapixels. These camera lenses, I think, are the same camera lenses from the Galaxy S23 from 2023, but I think there was a bit of a change this year when it comes to the Galaxy S26. I would say that this phone is not that much of an upgrade from the S25. So if you're looking to upgrade from an S25, I would say you could wait. If you are on an S23 or older, I would say that this phone is a good upgrade for you, since you still have some of the older specifications. This phone has been upgraded quite a lot, considering the fact that this phone has not changed since 2023-2024. Let's move on to the battery and connectivity. So the phone's battery capacity is 4,300 milliamp hours, and the charging, let's go to wired charging, which actually goes to 25 watts wired fast charging, and then it also has 15 watts wireless charging. Unfortunately, there is no magnetic charging or MagSafe, so you will have to buy a case separately which has the magnetic connectivity, and this case actually works perfectly fine for me. I bought this in a local store, so if you can just go to Amazon and search up MagSafe cases for the S26, and you'll find a bunch of them. So connectivity wise, this phone comes with 5G, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, NFC and USB Type C 3.2. And I would say that this phone considering this phone is like almost 4 months old, 5 months or 4 months old at this point. It's been 4 months since this phone has been released. I would say that this is a good phone. So in the box you get the normal stuff that you get with every phone. You get an instruction manual, you get a SIM ejector tool, you get a you also get a not a manual, you also get a Type C to Type C charging cable, and you will have to buy the adapter separately at a store or online. I personally went to a store and bought an adapter, but considering the fact that this phone is a really small phone, this is 6.3 inches. The phone that I use, this is not my personal phone, this is my dad's. The phone that I use personally is a iPhone 15, and the iPhone 15 has a 6.1 inch OLED, but it's 60 hertz, and this is 120 hertz. And considering I like the 120 hertz on these phones, they're really smooth. And also, if the phone is just sitting idle there, it just goes down to 1 hertz, 2 hertz refresh rates. And this phone, when it comes to gaming, is pretty fast. Let's just open up Roblox here. You can see that the phone instantly opens up Roblox, and this phone is running on 2 SIMs. I have an Airtel SIM and a Geo SIM, and right now it's running on Airtel because I'm using Airtel to run a laptop that I have beside me. And I would say this phone has dual SIM. I don't know if this is limited to India or not, but yes, you do have dual SIM. You can just eject the SIM here, and there's SIM 1 on this side and SIM 2 on the other side, so you can just flip it over. So comparing the cameras, the app is of course the same Samsung camera app that we all love and know. It has the same features as the normal camera app. So you can also, but this year you also have the cool horizon lock feature, where you can just record a video and you can just flip the phone like this and it'll actually start recording. And I will just actually, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I will actually put a sample of the horizon lock feature when I'm done editing. So you just have to go to this small icon up here. You have to go to the last max stabilization setting, and you have horizon lock. This is on all Galaxy S26 models in the lineup, the S26, the S26 Plus, and the S26 Ultra. Unfortunately, the S26 and the S26 Plus do not come with the super cool privacy display feature that is present on the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. So overall, and one more thing to consider is that this thing has major table wobble. So when you put it on the table, it does wobble a lot. I would say that is due to the big camera bump. So this comes out of the box with One UI 8.5 when we bought it, and you can upgrade this to, so this thing gets 7 years of OS updates. So calculating that this is on Android, I think this is on Android, 1 minute, let me just check that because it will show you IMEI information. So this is on Android 16, so 7 years adding to that would be Android 20 plus. So that would be like 6 and then add 7. So that would be Android 24. So you would get Android 24 on this phone, which is crazy. I don't know if we will keep this phone for around 7 years, but yeah, if you are a kind of person who uses your phone for 7 years, well, you can get Android 24 on the phone. This also comes packed with a ton of Galaxy AI features, and I would say that Galaxy AI is way more useful than Apple Intelligence. Of course, I haven't used Apple Intelligence yet when it comes to AI. Let's just show you. So you get call assist, which I've tried and it's really good. So basically, if somebody is calling you and you do not want to answer, there's this AI agent which can answer for you, and it will ask them questions, and you can look at the questions what the AI agent is asking them, and if it's an important call, then you can just pick it up. Writing assistant, I haven't used this yet, but I guess this is something that helps you with emails. Next is interpreter, which is live translation. So if you're talking with somebody in another language and you do not know how to talk in that language, you can just talk in English, Telugu, or Hindi, and it'll translate to their language. Next is note assist. I haven't tried this yet. It just says that you can auto format, summarize, spell check, and translate text in your notes app. Transcribe voice and call recordings into text. Browsing assist, photo assist. Photo assist is probably one of the best AI features that Samsung has released to date. And yeah, next you can this phone is also capable of eSIM, which is really good considering I think you can put 3 SIMs in the phone, 1 eSIM and 2 nano SIMs. So next, let's move on to the features that this phone comes with. So this phone has a fingerprint sensor under the display, and it's an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which is kind of brand new technology. So it's really fast. Right now, for me, it's kind of slow considering that it is new technology, and you have to get this right on the place of where the fingerprint scanner is. Next, you get Samsung DeX and Samsung Wireless DeX, and I have used Samsung Wireless DeX. One thing you should keep in mind when you're using DeX is the fact that you have to basically get a keyboard. You can use the phone as a trackpad, but you have to get a keyboard. That is like compulsory. So next, let's go on to testing. So performance wise, this phone scores a small pause there because I had to do something with the phone. So moving on to performance tests, this phone in Antutu scores 2,441,481, which is really good, and that is version 10. In version 11, this scores 3,064,672. Next, let's move on to Geekbench. In that is version 6. This scores 10,824. I have never done a lot of testing for phones. Considering the fact that this is a flagship, I think those performance scores are really good. But I wish Samsung could have brought the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 to India, basically the global market. Next, let's move on to 3D Mark. In 3D Mark, the Wildlife Extreme test, this phone scored 7,230, which I would consider for an Exynos chip really good. Next, let's go to pricing. So I personally got this phone for around 75,000 rupees on Amazon for the 256 gigabytes, 12 gigabytes RAM. Right now, present day, it's going for 73,300 on Amazon, and in America, it's $720. Now, when you're moving to the 512 gigabytes with 12 gigabytes RAM, the price increases by quite a margin, and that margin is 999 rupees, which is basically 1 lakh. And on Amazon America, it's $935.52 to be exact. So the competitors for this phone at this price range would be the OnePlus 15, the Vivo X300 FE, newly released, and not a competitor but the predecessor, the Samsung Galaxy S25, the Vivo IQ15, and the Google Pixel 10. So next, we also have the iPhone 17, which is probably the biggest competitor for this phone at that price range. There is a Spigen screen protector on top of this phone, and the base glass that the phone comes with is Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and the glass back is also Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and the wraparound is entirely made out of aluminum, which is pretty good, and the build quality feels pretty nice. I would say please do use this phone with a case if you're a heavy user, like if you drop your phone a lot, because you are gonna crack this glass eventually someday. Next, let's move on to some of my favorite stuff. So specifications wise, when it comes to the chipset, I already told you in the beginning, if you're looking at India and some other countries, global market basically, you will get a Samsung Exynos 2600. And if you're looking at China, America, and I think the UK, you will get a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which is basically Snapdragon's latest, newest chipset, and it is used on the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. And gaming on this phone is really good. I will say one thing, which is the phone will get hot near the camera module. You just have to look out for that, but you can easily game on this phone. I played Roblox on max graphics and some other games which I do not have the proper benchmark for because I just downloaded them. So yeah. Other feature that I hope Apple adds in the future is reverse wireless charging, because this phone has reverse wireless charging, but it only goes until 4.5 watts. So that is the full review, complete review, I would say. Not the in-depth review because there's a ton of more stuff that I can uncover. So that is basically a basic review of the Samsung Galaxy S26. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I also apologize for any background noise because there's a lot of stuff happening in my neighborhood. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and comment. So see you guys next time. Bye bye.